The PlayStation 5 console generation is nearing to a close. For a lot of people, that may come as a shock, a surprise, and that is because this gen, things have flown by, and the pandemic certainly plays a major factor in that, as well as the games industry's very slow transition to this current gen hardware. Blame it on what you may, but the fact that just now we're seeing big franchises finally ditching new versions of games to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One is quite telling on how these consoles failed to convince the average Joe that they needed or should want a PlayStation 5 or even a Series X. Obviously, recent games like Death Stranding 2 showcase the power of this gen, but it feels very late in year 5 for us to finally be getting these types of games. Still, obviously there is time for Sony to have the PlayStation 5 sell like hotcakes and make a major impression on gamers, especially with a console only release at launch like Grand Theft Auto 6 quickly approaching, and exclusives such as Wolverine, Ghosts of Yote, and Intergalactic potentially defining this generation for Sony. It is clear though, a lot of mistakes were made this go around. Bad investments and a live service push that brought us 2 weeks of the $400 million Concord and maybe Marathon and Fair Games one day. So while just about 40% of the PlayStation player base has remained on the PlayStation 4 up until this year, Sony is already gearing up for what they consider their top priority, the PlayStation 6. And it is indeed.
I mean, I didn't know the PS5 was doing bad. Like, who said that? Who complaining about the PS5? I thought everything I've ever heard about it, everybody loved it. Like, that shit good. It was selling, the numbers is doing good. Or maybe I just need to do more research. I ain't really been looking into it lately.
Right around the corner. Now, speaking to this prioritization remark about Sony's future, this was actually said in the early part of this summer from Hideaki Nishino, the president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, and he was talking about console hardware being more of a priority than cloud streaming moving forward, or at least in the foreseeable future. Nishino brought up some of the limitations right now with cloud streaming, such as the network stability, and just there not being an interest right now in gaming for anything other than local execution. But Nishino went on to add that he could not reveal any details at the moment, but could confirm that the future of the platform is top of mind, and that PlayStation is committed to exploring a new and enhanced way for players to engage with their
But when is it coming out? I mean, even of course they probably working on the PS6. We already know that. We know we getting the PS6, but it ain't coming out like next year, is it? I'll say we got another year or two, right? Maybe 2007. I still need to go get the PS5. Hey, you talking about?
And Sony Interactive Entertainment Senior Vice President of Finance Lynn Azar took this a step further, adding to Nishino's comments by stating that they're still figuring out what the future of the platform looks like. Azar added that the traditional cyclicality has been...
So if you ain't got the PS5 yet and it's about that time where you need a new system, I would definitely say get the PS5, because I don't think it is no point in waiting. You're going to be waiting for a while, because the PS6 is going to come out in a little... It's going to come out, but it's going to come out in a little minute. So you might as well go ahead and get that PS5.
Reduced and large ecosystems across PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 provide recurring revenues. The future will also focus on continuing to drive a multi-generational ecosystem, providing new ways for players to access and engage with content. And this makes a lot of sense, especially when you look at the breakdown of users on the PlayStation 4 versus PlayStation 5. There's still 49 million people playing on their PlayStation 4s. It's not like the PlayStation 5 isn't selling like hotcakes. Just as of last week, they crossed 80 million total units. The gaming space has grown a lot. There's a massive interest in the PlayStation ecosystem. And obviously Sony is interested on giving these players more and more ways to access their games, not just on PlayStation, but also other platforms like PC and even Xbox, although the extent of that, they certainly seem like they want to limit it. Now, Sony is talking about their future, but it's not just them, Xbox as well. And Xbox's hardware architect just the last week said that they were wrapping up on the Xbox Series X/S generation, and he said also that he was excited and inspired by what is ahead for them. And funny enough, all the way back in 2022, when Xbox was having their trial over the Activision Blizzard merger, they actually revealed when this next generation was probably going to be starting. And this was leaked through court documents that accidentally got out, but Microsoft expects the next generation Xbox and PlayStation 6 to arrive right around 2028. And Sony's lead architect, Mark Cerny, the lead designer of the PlayStation Vita, PlayStation PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and soon the PlayStation 6 kind of let slip that this time frame is probably pretty accurate. 2027, 2028 is probably when we're going to be getting this next generation PlayStation 6. And he said, what I'm trying to do is prepare for the next generation of consoles. So my time frame is multi-year then. So
What
this multi-year timeline again. So my time...
What I say, 2007? ...2007, 2008.
Time frame is
Go ahead and get that PS5, man.
multi-year there. So this multi-year timeline again suggests to analysts that they may be correct with the 2027 or 2028 forecast. Now, former PlayStation executive Shohei Yoshida, who recently was the former head of PlayStation's indie division, revealed during an interview with Venture Beat that he feels 2028 feels right for a potential PlayStation 6 release. Now, as this article from PlayStation Universe rightfully brings up, if Sony's next generation console were to arrive at around the same time as the previous hardware cycle dictated, then it would actually ship probably 2027, something which Yoshida-san said feels a bit too early. However, he did make clear that he has no inside scoop on the PS6, but he did state if the next generation